This is the Self-Aware Leader Podcast. Now your host, Jason Rigby.
It is a beautiful morning. I don't know how it is for you guys, but I'm in Albuquerque, New Mexico. We've been having super sunny 60, 57, 65 degrees around there. So it's been super exciting. I want to get into something I saw on I'm going to pronounce this wrong. It's a blog. It's called Apeiron, I think. Apeiron. Always like to give credit. So you guys don't think I'm just making this stuff and I'm some genius. Usually I'm just reading tons of information and tons of books. And then when I see something that really touches me, I want to share it with you. So that's what I do. But this is talking about, it was getting into Carl Jung's teachings and Freud's, and I don't want to get really into archetypes, the unconscious mind. I have another podcast I did all that, and it's higher density living. So if you haven't subscribed to that, I encourage you. That's more of a spiritual podcast. It's higher density, DENSITY, living podcast. But he talks about multiple things here, and I want to go over this bullet-pointed list about living richer, more honest lives. And I know we don't like that word nowadays. And as leaders, being honest is really tough because it's easier to kind of manipulate people, whether it's your boss, if you're middle management, or it's an employee, or even just to kind of pacify, which is not being honest, is it? It's actually being dishonest. If you're allowing someone to believe in something because they came to you and had a conversation, but yet you went ahead and knew that it's wrong, but it's easier for you, instead of having to confront it, to just allow them to believe that, then what have you done? You've been dishonest, right? One of the things they say is there's no universal recipe for living. What might be the best way to live life for someone else might be a disaster for you. Don't trust anyone who's trying to convince you of their view of the world. Build your own rules. I love this because we have all these influencers. You go on YouTube and it's like, you need to do this. You have to be this way. This is the right way. It's not that way. I have so many different friends with so many different views on so many different things. Some of my closest friends are ultra conservative on the far right, and some of my closest friends, I'm thinking of one right now that is so compassionate, kind, and loving that she is anything far left. It appeases her, and we can get into arguments. That's what I'm saying. That's not what I'm talking about. But isn't those positions, and if you watch or listen to podcasts, aren't they trying, a lot of them, trying to tell you how to live? No, that's wrong. This is right. And this is why. And those are good. I listen to them. Yeah, of course. Those are all good things to listen to gain more education. I listen to hours of podcasts every single day. I go to sleep listening to podcasts. I love podcasting. So that's not what I'm talking about. But a best way to live for someone, if you love the country and the country's amazing and you want to be an organic farmer and that's your goal, or you love being in solitude and you want to have a cabin in the mountains and that's everything to you. Or maybe you're a socialite. You love being in the city and the city energizes you. The disaster for somebody else is that person that wants to live in the cabin, they will be absolutely overwhelmed and crazy to go into the city. Do you see what I'm saying? What might be the best way to live life for someone else might be a disaster for you. Don't trust anyone who's trying to convince you of their view of the world. Develop your own set of rules. Build your own rules and live by those. Who cares? I have left views and I have right views, and I don't care. You can talk to me about one subject and you'll think I'm a Democrat. You can talk to me about other subjects and you'll think I'm a Republican. I do not care. I live by my own rules. And I've changed my position, I don't know, 30 times or more. I've changed my position on spirituality. I've changed my position on religion. I've changed my position on so many different things over the years. And I think you should. If you're learning and growing, that's what learning and growing is about. If you can't change your position and you're just hopping on a bandwagon and joining some tribe and you just take all of their external rules and have no internal rules within yourself, What's life about? Everybody should have their own rules. And guess what? They're going to be different. Who cares? Love the person for the rules they've created. Who cares? It's not that big of a deal. Next, sometimes you need to go where you least want to go. The solutions to your most profound problems might be hidden in the darkest places. Don't be afraid of digging deeper and exploring the unknown. Now, this isn't go to the cabin if you're in the city, and if you're in the cabin, you need to go to the city. That's where you're miserable. That's what it's not. It's talking about going and doing shadow work. A lot of people are afraid and fearful to go into that dark side of the brain. Why am I so screwed up in the head and fucked up in this way? Why do I think these horrible, horrific thoughts? Why do I get so angry and rageful at somebody I love? The list goes on and on, right? These are your dark things. You need to understand them. Don't be afraid. Get in there. Dig in there. They're not real anyways. It's just fear thoughts. The ego is trying to protect you. Or the ego's getting its feelings hurt, which no one can hurt your feelings. You'd say, well, that's a stupid statement. No, it's true. The only way you get your feelings hurt is if you allow that. Don't be afraid of digging deeper and exploring the unknown. Next, you can be a potato, an egg, or a coffee bean. You're not what happens to you, but what you choose to become. This is kind of cool. It's funny. If you really look at it, a potato, an egg, or a coffee bean. Think about that. What's a potato, what's an egg, and what's a coffee bean? Eggs are super fragile. They crack at any moment. Potatoes are super soft. They can, get moldy. But a coffee bean's pretty resilient. And when extracted, it exudes amazing flavor, So it's what you choose to become. Who cares about the past? Most of our past, a lot of what we feel, think, or see that we have stories in our head, a lot of those aren't real anyways. They say like 60 to 80% of the stuff the stories that we have of our past are made up, or are not all the way true. And if you focus on your past, guess what happens? It's just going to drag that emotion, and the ego likes to put that past chain on you and keep you in that prison so that it keeps you safe. That's what it's wanting to do. Stop talking, start doing. You're not what you say you'll do, but what you actually do. Or what does Nike say? Just do it, right? Intentions, what are intentions? Nothing. What are great ideas? Nothing. They're worth not even pennies. A great idea that's executed on and executed on well is worth millions and millions of dollars. We've all seen a product to be like, wow, this person made millions of dollars off of this? Plastic back scratchers. The list goes on and on of the silly things that are out there where people made millions and millions of dollars. I saw the other day, all these kids are wearing these little pins, like enamel pins that we used to get. I'm old. I'm 50 years old. We used to get enamel pins back in the day, and now it's huge, and you put them on your Crocs. And they have Croc pins, and people are selling them on websites and making millions. Just do it. You're not what you say you'll do, but what you actually do. And as a leader, this is so important. Don't promise things unless you're going to write them down and actually do them. Looking at the outside will never lead to a satisfying life. This is something I've had to learn, and I still have to learn it, is I have this entrepreneurial spirit or hustle spirit where I'm never happy in the present moment, which is totally wrong, isn't it? We all heard Eckhart Tolle. If you haven't, you should. Like, being in the present moment is all we really have, right? But instead, I really want to be like, nope, you need to work harder. Nope, don't accept the compliment. Turn the compliment down. Blah, 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 blah. Talk bad about yourself and work harder. Let's go, Jason. If I keep looking on the outside, I'm not going to have a happy, fulfilled life. I need to look inside of myself, who I truly am, because that's where all the answers are. Being self-aware enough to be able to ask yourself the questions and then allow your higher self to teach you and show you and respond to you, that's your Bible. That's your spirituality. That's your religion. The answers are inside of you. And every religion says that. You're a Christian? Guess what? You have the Holy Spirit that lives in you, right? That's your higher self. Well, I mean, I could go through each of the religions and all of them talk about a higher self. They just have different names for it. Knowing your own darkness will help you to deal with the darkness of others. And this is from before. Spending more time with yourself is the best exercise to better understand others. Being more self-aware, digging in, asking those questions, finding out, why am I having so much anxiety right now? Why is my anxiety like at a 9? Oh, I'm relating this to something that bad happened to me in the past. So now I'm getting emotional with this employee because of something that they triggered, or my spouse or my child, something that they triggered, and it's not even their fault. I was talking about this the other day with my friend. I'm like, if the same person, 4 different relationships, and you're doing the same thing to all 4, whether it's Susan, Sally, Sammy, whatever, those 4 different, Linda, who cares? The names. It's like you've been in 4 different relationships and you act the same way for all of them. So obviously that's none of their problem. This is your problem. And you're just going to go in insanity doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. That's insanity, right? You've got to dig in, find this darkness, spend time with yourself, and then you'll be able to help understand others. Next, you don't need to solve every problem. A lot of it is just accepting, right? Just understand and accept. How hard is that? Understand and accept. It's pretty simple. Think about that. You have a problem. Oh my God, I'm so emotional about this problem. My boss and this and the CEO and this and that. Accept it. Because you know what happens? The minute you accept it, you can pull back, get those emotions, not have tunnel vision, and guess what happens? Then you can begin to work on the problem, right? Then you can begin to gain clarity. And what happens when you bring clarity onto a problem? You shine a light on it, and you can solve it. The more clarity you put on a problem, the more action steps you're going to be able to make. And I need this person, and let's pull this team together. Let's create a new team. And this is going to happen. This is going to happen. We're going to come up with this. I need ideas from you on this. I need ideas from you on this. And I need ideas from you on this. I want each of you to meet with me separately. And I want you 48 hours and then come to me and give me your ideas. Let's be real creative on this. Let's gain clarity on this. And let's solve this problem. Everybody brings their information in. You take it. You decipher it. And you're like, let's all get a whiteboard together as a team and let's go through and how are we going to solve this problem? You're going to sit there, be quiet, and write things on the whiteboard that everybody's telling you in the team. Be like, perfect. So this is our list. These are the things we're going to do. Or do we need to prioritize this? What's going to take a lot of work? What can we solve right now to bring clarity quicker? Okay, well, we can do this. That's pretty easy. Okay, awesome. This is going to be pretty, this will take a week or 2. Okay. This is going to be the hardest thing to do, but we should probably get more manpower. Okay, perfect. Can we bring somebody else in? Can we hire people temporarily? What do we need to do to fix that part? And then you just solve the problem, right? The emotions don't need to be there. A lot of times, as this says, is you can outgrow the problem. Think about that. The problems that you faced in your lives, outgrow them. How do you do that? Gain wisdom. Learn. Use it as a catalyst to gain more self-awareness. Next, last one. If someone irritates you, it might be because of your own flaws. This is mine. It's me being triggered by somebody else's misbehavior, that I'm assuming that it's misbehavior because I'm judging. That irritation, and I did a podcast with a lady the other day. It's on higher density living, and she talked about it. She goes, triggers are blessings. You should thank God every time you get a trigger. Because that just shows you, oh, I need to do more self-aware work on this. Oh, awesome. I got triggered by this. Why? This is a little bit of work I need to do. So why did I get triggered on this? Why did I get mad at this person? Why did this person hurt my feelings? Why did I get in the car and start crying? Why did I feel like I was taken advantage of by this person? Why did this person roll me under the bus? Why did my daughter scream at me? And I took it personal and screamed back at her. Why did I scream back at her? The list goes on, right? If someone irritates you, it might be because of your own flaws. So ask yourself why. Go into the whys. Why am I buying off on this trigger? It's their problem, not mine. I'm just getting triggered by their misbehavior. I love this. And like I told you guys, it's Apeiron blog, Apeiron. I listen to them. They're on medium.com. You could see it, and I encourage you to look it up, and you'll be able to understand them a little bit more and exactly what they do. A lot of psychology, which, that's what self-awareness is about. If you guys haven't shared the podcast, this podcast is free for everyone, all you subscribers on Substack. Appreciate each and every one of you. I have like 25,000 followers on Substack. Please share this. That's the number one thing I ask that you guys can do is share the podcast. If you enjoyed it, if you're learning from this, if you're getting self-aware exercises and tools that can help you be a better leader, give this to other leaders. Just say, hey, I really like this. Listen to it. Would love for you to listen to it. Have your team listen to it. You guys can all listen to it together. I make these really short so I get everybody's attention. Have somebody listen to this, and you guys get together and talk about it. It's a great exercise, team exercise that you can do. If you guys have specific things, you can DM me. I'm on Self-Aware Leader Podcast on Instagram. That's the best way to get a hold of me. There's also an email on selfawarepodcast.com is our website.
Thank you for tuning in to the Self-Aware Leader Podcast with host Jason Rigby. We hope this episode has inspired you to unleash your full potential and embrace your inner leadership. By expanding your consciousness, you can transform your mind, body, and soul and become the remarkable leader you were always meant to be. If you found this episode valuable, please share it with your loved ones and help us expand our community. Thank you for listening, and we look forward to having you join us again on the Self-Aware Leader Podcast.